Today we dive into 3 gut-wrenching betrayals, a lover's violent control, a dog's heroic defense against a stalker, and a family's devastating false accusation. Each story will pull back the curtain on how subtle warning signs can spiral into life-altering trauma, and how the survivors found the courage to reclaim their lives. I'll walk you through the raw emotions, the moments of terror, and the slow, steady climb toward healing. Grab a tissue, settle in, and prepare to feel every heartbreak and every spark of resilience that shines through the darkness. The night I finally changed my phone number, my ex-boyfriend sent one last message. It read like a twisted test, asking if I'd ever regret leaving him. My heart hammered as I realized his cruelty wasn't a one-time incident, it was a carefully staged escalation. The words felt like a final choke, reminding me how he once literally squeezed the breath from me during intimacy until I blacked out. That text sealed the reality. The abuse was intentional, and I had narrowly escaped a far darker fate. I stared at the screen, tears mixing with a cold resolve to never look back. We'd been together for 3 years, moving in after a whirlwind romance that felt like a fairy tale. He was charming, attentive, and seemed to understand my insecurities before I even voiced them. Friends praised his generosity, and I believed the love we shared was genuine. Early on, small quirks, late-night calls, occasional jealousy, felt like passion, not warning signs. I celebrated anniversaries, planned a future, and even introduced him to my family, convinced he was the partner I'd always wanted. The foundation felt solid, making the later betrayal cut even deeper, because I had built my whole life around that illusion. Red flags appeared as subtle as a tightened grip. He would disappear for hours, return with rehearsed stories, and become possessive when I spoke to male friends. During intimacy, his touch sometimes shifted from tenderness to a harsh grip that left bruises. He dismissed my concerns, calling me overreacting, and isolated me from supportive friends. Each excuse felt like a knot tightening around my freedom, yet love and hope kept me holding on, hoping the behavior would change on its own. I ignored the growing dread, convincing myself that his occasional outbursts were just stress, not a pattern. After the hospital visit and a protective order, I cut every tie, moving between friends' houses while my belongings stayed with my parents. A domestic violence advocate connected me with therapy, and I began rebuilding my life step by step. I now work remotely, have a supportive circle, and focus on self-care through yoga, journaling, and daily affirmations. The trauma still surfaces in flashbacks, but each day I choose safety over fear, proving that even the darkest deception cannot define my future. I've learned to trust my instincts again, and that trust is my greatest armor. From personal abuse we shift to a loyal companion who faced a life-threatening intruder. This next tale shows how unconditional animal love can become a shield when we feel most vulnerable, turning a terrifying night into a testament of bravery and resilience. When the alarm blared, I stumbled half asleep into a nightmare, a masked intruder standing in my living room, eyes wild, weapon hidden. My heart raced, thoughts of fleeing clashed with terror. Before I could reach for my gun, my massive bulldog, Thor, lunged forward, teeth bared, and a fierce growl filled the room. Blood splattered the floor as the attacker fled, chased by Thor's relentless pursuit. The police later called the dog a hero, but the memory of that chaotic, violent night still haunts me, echoing in every creak of the house. After surviving an abusive relationship, I adopted Thor from a shelter, hoping his intimidating size would give me confidence. He turned out to be a gentle giant, loving strangers, my niece, and even the mail carrier. We built a routine of walks, training sessions, and late-night couch cuddles. Thor became my emotional anchor, a living reminder that I could protect myself. Our bond grew stronger each day, and I began trusting my instincts again, believing I could finally feel safe in my own home. His steady breathing at night became my lullaby of reassurance. Before the break-in, subtle warnings emerged. I noticed my phone was missing, strange notes on my car, and a lingering smell of smoke in the driveway after an unexplained fire. My stalker's obsessive messages escalated, and I found myself constantly checking locks. I installed cameras, bought a concealed carry permit, and started weight training. Yet, I still felt vulnerable, relying on Thor's presence as my last line of defense, fearing that any moment could turn deadly. Those small, eerie incidents built a dread that never left my mind. Following the police report, Thor received commendations, and the stalker was sentenced to a lengthy prison term. I now attend therapy to manage lingering anxiety and work on reintegrating into normal life. Though my sister-in-law doubts Thor's safety around children, I've arranged supervised visits and continue to educate my family about his protective instincts. Each day I choose to step outside, knowing Thor's bravery gave me a second chance at peace. Our walks are longer, our laughs louder, and the darkness feels a little less imposing. From animal bravery we move to a heartbreaking family betrayal that shattered a teenager's trust. This story will reveal how quickly love can turn to suspicion, and how a single accusation can rip a family apart, leaving scars that take years to heal. My parents stormed into my brother's room, shouting that he was a predator after finding wet, slimy clothing they claimed belonged to our sister. Their faces twisted with anger, they demanded he leave the house. My brother sat silently, eyes red, as the accusations flew. The weight of their words crushed him, and the house filled with a deafening silence that screamed betrayal, not from a stranger, but from the very family meant to protect him. The night stretched on, each word a hammer driving a deeper wound. Our family had always been close. I, a 23-year-old sister, lived with my 15-year-old brother and 17-year-old sister in a tight-knit household. We shared jokes, meals, and school stories. My brother was quiet but dependable, often helping with chores and homework. We trusted each other implicitly, believing our parents would always defend us. That trust made the accusation feel like a knife twisted by those we loved most. The sudden shift from laughter to accusations left us all reeling, questioning everything we'd built together. Tension began when my sister discovered missing clothing in my brother's room, wet, slimy, and oddly placed. She immediately blamed him, and our parents jumped to conclusions without evidence. Their anger grew louder each day, as they shouted about predators and a monster in the house. The dog later found more of the clothing, confirming their fears, but the real cause remained a mystery. The family's rush to judgment ignored my brother's silence and trembling heart, leaving him isolated and terrified of his own home. I offered my brother a safe place to stay for a week, allowing him to escape the hostile environment. We spent time together, talking about school and his feelings, slowly rebuilding his confidence. The parents eventually apologized after the police clarified the situation, but the damage lingered. Now my brother lives with me temporarily, focusing on school and therapy. The experience taught us all the danger of snap judgments and the power of compassion in healing deep wounds. We're learning to listen before we condemn, rebuilding trust piece by piece. Betrayal can come from lovers, strangers, or even family, but each story shows our capacity to survive and rise. Remember, you deserve safety, truth, and respect. If you've faced similar pain, know you are not alone, and healing is possible. What would you have done in their shoes? Drop your thoughts below, share your own story, and let's support each other on this journey toward reclaiming our lives.